Eric Feckett at Tab Wednesday afternoons. Quinnipiac University men's lacrosse NCAA tournament game as Rock and Roll Wednesday, Andrew, and boy was it rock and roll for the Quinnipiac Bobcats. A 14-9 victory, a first NCAA tournament win in program history, and now it gets a chance to face the top team in the country, the Maryland Terrapins, on Sunday afternoon. Welcome inside the Rebound presented by Q30 Sports. I'm Morey Hershgordon alongside Andrew Badillo. Andrew, quite the day for the blue and the gold. Quite the atmosphere to start.
Yeah, well, Morey, first off, Rock and Roll Wednesday, that sounds really good. I'm a big fan of rock and roll music, some AC/DC, some Led Zeppelin in there, Foo Fighters. I like that stuff. But yeah, the atmosphere was incredible today, Morey. They had at the QU turf field, they had about 500 more fans than they did for the MAC championship game. Fit about 1,500 people here. Mixture of red, mixture of blue and gold, just a tremendous, tremendous game. Fans were rowdy and loud right behind us. I know you were on the game filming all the action, so you could hear all the ruckus behind us. Anthony Carcietta's father was into the game. Ryan Lawler's father was into the game. And, you know, Quinnipiac responded well. They went off, they won the game, obviously, and they're moving on Sunday to face Maryland in the Sweet 16.
Andrew, the opponent wore red. It wasn't Marist, though, but the start to this game was exactly like Marist, the hot start for Quinnipiac.
Yeah, it's certainly more. I mean, it was a little bit more of a defensive one in this game. Marist fell behind by 5 goals in that game this past weekend on Saturday. Hartford, this game was a little bit closer, 2-goal deficit at times, 1-goal deficit at times, but Quinnipiac did jump out to that lead. They fell behind in the face-off X pretty quickly. Will Vitelli had a tough time. Hartford is one of the best face-off teams in the country. Quinnipiac responded well, however, getting turnovers, transitioning that to time on offense. Really important. Jack Brust was incredible for this team as well. But yeah, I mean, it was Quinnipiac on offense did tremendously well. They moved the ball very well around the perimeter. Foster Cuomo, Ryan Keenan really were the X factors in this game on offense for the Bobcats.
Dylan Protesto for the Hartford Hawks, the #1 face-off man in the country. He wins over 71% of the face-offs in the X. Today, nonetheless, 18 of 27 on the X. Will Vitelli just 9 for 27, much like his 9 for 25 performance earlier in the year, but that didn't matter. Quinnipiac's defense, and especially Jack Brust, locked in.
Yeah, Brust was absolutely unbelievable in this game, Morey. I spoke with him after the game, and I said, do you know you faced 48 shots in that game total? He's like, honestly, man, I have no idea. I just go out there. Every shot that comes out to me, I try to just save it. And really, that's been the motto for him all year. I mean, he's played just tremendous all year long, won the MAC Tournament Most Outstanding Player this past weekend with his performance against Canisius and Marist. He's been the rock of this team all season long. Ryan Lawler has been also tremendous, as well as the entire defensive unit in front of Brust. But in this game, he made 18 saves against a Hartford team that was really playing desperate pretty much from the beginning of the third quarter onto the end of the game. Quinnipiac was on fire on offense early in that third quarter. Foster Cuomo scored most of his goals in the second half. The Hartford goalie really had no idea where Cuomo was going to shoot. On a few goals, Cuomo went low, and then the final goal he scored, he went high. The Hartford goalie was already guessing he would go low. So Cuomo, just an outstanding individual effort, but it all goes back down to Jack Brust. If Jack Brust has the game he had today on Sunday against Maryland, who knows what could happen? I mean, we saw it in the American East Tournament. Hartford knocked off #4 overall in the country, Albany. So, I mean, really anything could happen in this game. The parity across the entire Division I lacrosse has been great all year long, and it should be a really exciting game on Sunday.
Ryan Lawler, Chris Kendall anchoring that defense. Jack Brust, great between the pipes. The offense is filthy. Any players, 1 through 5, 6, they have all different variety of players that can score. That's the recipe for Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac's offense is lethal. Does anything change, though, when you go face the #1 team in the country?
I don't think you change anything more. I mean, they've had such great success this year. Brian Feldman with over 30 goals. Ryan Keenan with over 30 goals. And then you got Foster Cuomo, who's really come of age in the playoffs. He's been tremendous, made the all-tournament team for the MAC tournament, and then had an outstanding game leading the Bobcats with 4 goals in this one. I think if you really want to pinpoint a player on offense, it'll probably be Cuomo. I just think that he brings so much to the table with his versatility and the way he's able to finish. I mean, he's been He was outstanding today. He's been outstanding the past few weeks. Brian Philman had a little bit of trouble getting going today. He's the leading goal scorer for this team. He's a sophomore as well. A lot of the scoring depth from this team comes from the sophomores and the freshmen. And then I think Keenan's also going to be a very important player too. Obviously, he's the captain of this team. He gets it going on offense. But I think just the overall depth that you alluded to has been tremendous for this team this year. 1 through 6, they all can score. I mean, we saw Drew D'Antonio too a few days ago having a career game, scoring 4 goals against Marist in that championship game. So who knows, it could be an unsung hero that steps up and has that career game against Maryland and could catapult Quinnipiac on into the Elite Eight. But I think Cuomo is that player that for Maryland, at least the Terrapins, have to key on offense.
12 wins for the Quinnipiac Bobcats, the second most in program history, only behind the 14 in 2001. And Andrew, that team didn't make the NCAA tournament. So this one, like Fekete has mentioned, throughout the last couple weeks of the regular season and in the MAC tournament, this is the best team in school history. Game time on Sunday will be at 12:30, nationally televised on ESPNU. The Terrapins of Maryland, the #1 team in the land, against upstart Quinnipiac out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Andrew, thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot, Morey.
For more information from Andrew Badillo, myself, Sierra Goodwill behind the camera, check out Q30television.com, as well as on Twitter at Q30 Sports. For everybody at Q30, for what a great entire year, Andrew, I'm Morey Hershgordon. We'll see you next time.